fully repaired hand. He stiff-armed the Super Bowl champs out of town. That was the Chargers last night with the Philadelphia Eagles here for Monday Night Football. This is Good Morning Football, the day after, presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. Tuesday, December 9th, Jamie Erdahl, as always, here in Los Angeles with Manti Te'o. But if you're distracted by everybody else at the table, I wouldn't be surprised. Three-time Super Bowl champion LeGarrette Blount to my right, your left on the screen. Isaac Rochelle back at the table as well. Kyle Brandt, look at with you all your lonesome in your Anger Runs t-shirt today. Sorry, couldn't RSVP to the party in time.
That's okay. I love Jamie, Manti, Isaac. I love LeGarrette Blount. What's up, Blount? My man. I'm a big fan, baby. Let's go. I'm doing it.
And I'm a huge fan as well, so I appreciate you guys for having me.
Let's go.
Awesome.
We got highlights. We got a big hour on GMFB. Roll it. Welcome to Good Morning Football, presented by Old Trapper. That's right, everybody. GMFB on a Tuesday. Manti, Isaac, Kyle. And that is LeGarrette Blount staring at you in the camera. What's up, LeGarrette? How are you, bud?
Man. Thank you guys for having me. I feel great. Just got done coaching some high school football.
There you go.
Nice.
Got our tail whooped in the second round, but besides that, I'm feeling good.
You look good. We're so happy to have you at the table. Kyle, I always like to lean on you. Do me a favor. Do me a solid.
Come on.
Best 30 seconds on LeGarrette Blount. Go, as a football fan.
Wow. Oh, let's go. I'm talking about guys to Devontae 7 plays later. On a 1st and 10, it gets tipped and then intercepted by Tony Jefferson, and the game is over. That is a walk-off pick. Chargers 22-19 in overtime. Cam Hart was able to get the hand on the ball, gets it to Jefferson. 4th interception of the game for the Chargers team. And look at those two fiends. Incredible. 22-19 in overtime. Saquon goes for 122 and a touchdown in the loss. Afterwards, let's hear from the head coaches on their respective planets, Jim Harbaugh and Nick Sirianni.
What a team we have. That's my reaction. What a team we have. Just they refuse to lose. And
I think at the end of the day, we had some turnovers in this game, uncharacteristic of ourselves. And, at the end, every time it's going to come down to coaching well enough and executing well enough. Hard to beat a team on the road when you're not finishing drives and getting 3 points. And I got to take that on myself.
I put in the discussion the birth of my 7 children, my marriage, in the conversation.
Jim Harbaugh's like, how weird can I make this after this overtime win at home? Way to go, Harbaugh. We love you for it. I was concerned that we were going to have an awkward extra tie there at the end of that game that we already see with the Cowboys and the Packers. I was like, oh, boy, is this going to happen here? My gosh. Here is the NFC playoff picture with the Rams on the left there, as you can see. But that other team in L.A. won in overtime against the defending Super Bowl champions, who now still have the 3 seed at 8-5. But, man, the trend, Isaac Rochelle, it's not great with how the Eagles have played as of late, and then it just continued the trend last night. What'd you pick up from across the street?
Yeah, you're right. The trend is not great. I feel like at the beginning of this year, everybody was criticizing the Eagles' offense, and here I was just thinking, they're going to figure it out. It's going to be all right. Saquon's still on the roster. A.J. Brown, we love these guys. We got the best leader in the NFL in Hurts. However, the other side of it is this defense played really well. I mean, they had 7 sacks last night. So there's 2 sides of it. I think about it like this. As a player, they're going into meetings this Monday morning, and the defense is in the weight room, and they're looking around saying, hey, we might win some games if our offense was more productive. What that does, in my opinion, is it starts to, the glue on the team starts to come apart, right? You start blaming people. You start saying, hey, we need Hurts to figure it out. I didn't love it. And then at the end of the day, like I said, their offense has to get better. Last thing on it, I listened to a local podcast, and they said this was a moral victory for the Eagles. They were like, we're still going to go to the playoffs. We're getting better. This is not a moral victory
local
in any
in Philly
sense.
or local in L.A.?
Go listen to local or Locked On Eagles. They called this
I heard the same thing.
They called it a moral victory. The only moral victory is in this defensive line because those guys are dogs. Other than that, the Eagles need to not call this a moral victory.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable. I was like, I checked the screen. I was like, am I listening to the right people right now?
Yeah,
Why aren't you guys screaming and throwing toilet paper? What's going on?
Literally, you lost, and it's week 14. This is where your offense should be looking really efficient, where you shouldn't have a double turnover. We're not proud of the double turnover. It's not cool to watch. It's not cool. So that's what I think.
Well, you mentioned they had 5 turnovers, 4 of them coming via interception. And when I watch this Philadelphia Eagles offense, specifically as somebody like Jalen Hurts, it reminds me of Russell Wilson's kind of trajectory in his storyline. I remember when Russell was with Seattle, it was a run first, run heavy. You had Marshawn Lynch, you had all of those guys there. Then it was a pass as a counter. And then he went to Denver, and there was more of an emphasis for him to be more of a pocket passer, right? And there was just pushback. It's like, that's not your forte. That's not what God gave you some abilities, and it wasn't to. That's more of an emphasis on, number one, staying in the pocket and throwing this ball. And I just don't think that it's working. I don't think that having number one be the guy that sits there, diagnoses a defense, and gets number one, just drop back like a typical quarterback in the pocket and having diagnosed, I think that plays well into the defense's hands. That's where, for me as a defender, I want Jalen to do that. I want to keep him in the pocket. I want him to have to go to his progression and beat me that way. I think that if they're able to go back to what they did last year, which was run the ball, emphasize the run, focus on the run, that would make things better, LaGarrette, in the long term for this Patullo offense that hasn't really hit the mark that we've been used to seeing.
Yeah, I can backdoor that. I can double down on that and just say, you know, the fact that Jalen Hurts, and these are facts, Jalen Hurts, anytime he throws the ball over 30 times this season, we're 1-5 right now. So you get Saquon involved in the offense, right? He had 20 touches last night, all carries, right? You got to get him involved in the pass game. He took the Eagles to the promised land last year, and that's because they got him involved in the pass game and in the run game. You got to get him more and more touches. He had 13 carries in the first half, and the second half, including overtime, he only had 7 touches. That's not enough to get it done, right? We go with these guys and we say that you got a bell cow running back that can get it done if you give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball. I'm a firm believer in that. If you got one of those guys, you got to give him the ball, give him the ball, give him the ball until the well breaks, right? We seen him break a 52-yard run in the second half. You got to keep feeding that guy and let him continue to grow and grind for us all throughout the whenever you go out there and play against a big-time quarterback like Justin Herbert. They went out there and answered the bell. You know, 5 turnovers just won't get it done.
I hear you. It's a good take. And listen, the best thing you say about the Eagles right now is, well, they got a really easy schedule coming up, and thank God they do. We'll talk about them a little bit more in the future. But I think this was a really important Justin Herbert night, a really important night, because Justin Herbert's reputation, his performance it always starts with, oh, he's so talented. He's so talented. Such a good guy. So talented. And he is. But on this particular night, he was a full leader. He was a gladiator. He was gritty. He was dirty. He was all the things you don't hear about Justin Herbert enough. The fact that he didn't pass very well. He didn't have big statistics. I love that. The fact that Justin Herbert is playing with a broken hand. He's getting sacked 7 times. He's the Chargers' leading rusher in the game, running all over the field. Afterwards, he was even gritty, and there was this moment with the media where maybe he wasn't going to do the interview. It was like he was an ornery Justin Herbert because he was so deep in the competition of it, and I absolutely loved that. His coach afterward, Jim Harbaugh, said it was like watching a movie out there. Justin Herbert is usually like a Disney movie. He looks like a Disney prince. He's got this sort of Flynn Rider, John Smith adjacent to Kristoff vibe to him, where he's really pretty and he's got the hair. He's not really the main character, but he's someone that you like and you root for. None of all that. Last night, he was the main character, and he was, like, not that nice of a character. He was kind of a bad guy, kind of a villain, and I have not seen that from him. When the world champs are in town and you're building and you're hurt and your team needs a win, he just straight up decided to fight last night, fight hurt. And I think Justin Herbert has so much good equity about how talented he is and how strong his arm is. That's great. I love an injection of grit
to the tall, pretty guy with the famous girlfriend and the Disney face. Like, it's all of that is really cool for him. I think it was a great night for him, and they're going to need some more of that in the playoffs because that's where they're headed.
Yeah, nothing more emblematic of that grit than him trying to actively avoid the post-game interview with Laura Rutledge after the game. That was crazy. I thought that was going to be an Angry Runs candidate. Manti, you were at the game, Mr. Charger draft pick. How was your night? Who did you see? And you were dissecting this Eagles defense just by your naked eye.
Yeah, well, we was up there, and it was me and Desmond King. And shout out to Desmond King. He retired as a Charger last night. Desmond King, one of the very few guys to get first-team All-Pro as a DB and second-team All-Pro as a returner in the same year. He has a very well-accomplished career. Anyway, we had the privilege of being in that view where it's like the All-22 view. I can see it from a bird's eye view. And I'm not kidding, guys. Me and Desmond were 100% right on all the run-pass keys. Every single play when I watched the Philadelphia Eagles, from the mannerisms of the O